our new child our 4-pound jar of Reese's Pieces.
It's over a year. Oh. It was a mistake.
It was a mistake. I will absolutely buy it again if I go to Costco and they're still there.
I believe you. Oh. Our workout is passing the fucking jar of Reese's Pieces back and forth. I'm gonna need to refill my whiskey at some point.
You sure will.
It's gonna be awful for people who hate, like, hearing the sounds of chewing and
Mouth
talking with their mouth full.
ASMR.
There's like a fucking word for that. There's a phobia.
Misophonia.
What is it?
Misophonia.
Isn't that a Wolfgang Amadeus Phoenix song? Misophonia. Think fast until it grow. Like a ride out.
You know, this is the second podcast you've done
This is
today.
the second podcast I've done today.
I thought you got all your jokes out in the first one.
This brand new episode of Soon to Be a Major Motion Podcast. The podcast where we watch movies that are based on books and read books that were turned into movies. I am Billy Beck.
I am Cody Beck.
And this is the second podcast I've recorded today. The first was with our dear friends over at Shades of Blue. I was on their Thursday night lit stream not 2 hours ago. And they call it the lit stream because they encourage just drinking and chatting and shooting the shit about footy. And I did.
You sure did. You were so charming and personable. What happened?
The alcohol set in. So how have you been, Cody?
I've been fine. I have nothing new or interesting to report. It's the holiday season, so work is either incredibly busy or incredibly dead, and there's nothing in the middle. How about you?
You, unlike me, don't work in retail.
Correct. I do not.
So, peek behind the curtain. Normally the day we record these, I just do all my research and notes. I started the process on Monday, and barely got done today, because I've been very busy at work. Working in retail fucking sucks this time of year. Be nice to people on web stores. Because that very fancy Shopify front page might have one guy working at it freaking the fuck out. So have patience with small businesses, but please use small businesses fuck Amazon. Because they've got thousands of people in the back freaking the fuck out. Because Amazon is evil. You can listen to this on Amazon Prime.
So, have we recorded since your birthday?
No.
So it was your birthday.
I mean, I've had a few. You're going to need to be more specific.
It was your birthday recently.
Now, what do you define recently? Like, we got married recently, and that was almost 10 years ago.
It was your birthday within the last week.
No, it wasn't.
Oh my god, 8 days. Don't make me get up and hate you.
I don't like aging. It's not fun for me.
I wasn't going to say how old you were, but you aged.
Yeah.
You have aged.
I have.
We went out to a weed-themed sandwich shop and kicked ass at trivia.
Yeah, we did. We left at halftime in the lead and stayed in the lead through the first round after halftime while walking to the next bar. And I want to go back every year the day before Thanksgiving and do trivia. Because we will clean up.
And then we also accidentally stumbled into a burlesque performance at the second bar.
We were planning on going there regardless. We met up with some friends over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kept seeing these attractive women walk towards the back and then come out in different clothing. And we were like, are they going to do a burlesque show? And then those two ladies got up next to where our table was. And they were like, in 15 minutes, we're doing a burlesque show inside. And we were like, okay, this is perfect. And they did something that Kahuna never did, which was if you scanned their Venmo and said how much you gave, they would give you that amount in dollar bills so you could make it rain on the performers.
Yes.
And that was fun.
That was very fun. And I will say, they were inside. Kahuna was not.
True. But also, Kahuna had that lady who did stuff with fire.
Mm-hmm.
She was nice.
Yeah. So, despite the fact that you dislike aging, did you have an enjoyable birthday?
I had a wonderful birthday. Except for the having to work that day part. But I had a wonderful birthday. You made me feel special. I got to enjoy burlesque with 3 of my closest friends and confidants. Sorry, Mark. I was texting him the whole time because he should have been there, but alas. I had a wonderful birthday, so thank you.
You're welcome. I'm very glad you had a good birthday. I feel like there's a joke I can make about how nothing lasts forever, but I feel like there's a better segue.
You know, when it comes to age, nothing lasts forever. But I'll be damned if I don't die hard. Cody.
Smooth as butter.
It's the best I could do. I've seen you reading a novel. And I couldn't help but notice the name on the novel is the same as the last one we talked about. It's Roderick Thorp.
Unfortunately, yes.
Is that a sequel to The Detective?
It is actually a sequel to The Detective. Nothing Lasts Forever is a sequel set about 20 years later. I'm gonna do the podcast right now if we go into any more detail.
Okay, then I'll go back to my script. When we last left Mr. Roderick, what was his middle name? He was a Roderick something funny, something junior.
I just got Roderick Thorp on here.
All right. When we last left Mr. Roderick Thorp, his long, meandering novel, The Detective, was a commercial success and was adapted into the 1968 film starring Frank Sinatra. In 1975, Thorpe saw the film The Towering Inferno.
Oh my god.
Which led him to dream a dream in which men were being chased through a skyscraper with guns. And that dream inspired his next novel, the 1979 follow-up to The Detective, entitled Nothing Lasts Forever, which was written with a film sequel in mind for Frank Sinatra, which is why it takes place decades in the future.
That actually makes one of the throwaway lines in the book make more sense. There's a point in the book where our dashing hero, Mr. Leland, is running up and down the flights of stairs, and he has an odd thought, as he usually does, about how the police would never be able to take this building. Why did they think that the police would be able to handle this building when even firefighters couldn't?
That the Towering Inferno makes sense, but also post 9/11.
So funny you bring up 9/11. So this is the library book, as most of the books I read for the podcast are, and someone annotated this version of the library book in pencil. And there's a section early in the book, I'm gonna see if I can actually find it, where this individual has written, circled a little section, because there's a time noted. The time is 9/11. And the person circled that and wrote in all caps in the margin, this was written in 1979. And when I came across that section of it, I had to take a lap, and then I came out and showed Bill, and I was just like, 911 is the fucking emergency number. It's been the emergency number forever. It's not fucking significant.
Did Leland in the novel even comment on it on 9/11? That's fascinating. Or was it just like, it's 9:11 p.m. Okay. Now I know
Literally, he's just noticing the time.
Some people, man. So the novel Nothing Lasts Forever. Our hero, retired police detective Joe Leland, is visiting his daughter in Los Angeles, specifically her Christmas party on Christmas Eve at the Claxon Oil Corporation building. I was going to say something about, wait a minute, was it Roderick Thorp that was like an oil guy? But no, that was Philip Marlowe, Big Sleep. What was his name? Raymond Chandler.
Raymond Chandler.
Okay, never mind.
Yes, he was an oil executive.
While Leland waits for the party to end, a group of German Autumn-era terrorists invade, led by Anton, a.k.a. Tony, a.k.a. Little Tony, a.k.a. Little Tony the Red, Gruber.
That's not even an exaggeration. It's every fucking name.
The terrorists steal evidence of Claxon's dealing with the Chilean junta, kill the CEO, and attempt to break into their safe to steal $6 million. Leland manages to eliminate most of the terrorists, but loses his daughter when Gruber takes her with him after getting shot off the building. Finally, Leland's cop buddy on the ground saves him from zombie Carl at the very end. I missed anything important?
Just all of his meandering thoughts about how much he hates his dead bitch wife.
Is it the same wife from The Detective?
Yes.
How did she die? What happened?
So they get divorced.
Okay.
She marries somebody else, and she has a heart attack.
Because her new man ain't dicking her as good as Leland?
No, she just straight up just doesn't wake up one day.
Oh.
And he has meandering thoughts about it, and thoughts about how he failed as a father, and how his daughter is fat, and she's doing cocaine, and it's a moral failure, and... Man, this author just fucking hates women.
Are you telling me the former private investigator from New York City doesn't have a high opinion of women? In the 70s?
He sure doesn't have a high opinion of women that live in California in the 70s.
I mean, neither did the filmmakers. Like, one of the first things that happens in the movie is, like, that girl in the tight white pants, like, jumps in her boyfriend's arms at the airport, and McClane's like, California. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I moved here. To leer at women in tight white pants. Coward. But I digress. We got a ways to go before we get to the movie itself.
Yeah.
But no, the original, the detective, was like 600 pages, and like roughly 450 of those were flashback, right?
Yeah, I would say that's accurate.
Does he fall in that same trap here?
Well, considering that this is only 188 pages...
Thank fuck.
No, he does not. It's interesting, because he does have flashbacks. Like, the longest flashback is basically explaining how he knows who Anton Gruber, aka Little Tony, is, because he just so happened to be leaving a conference where they were talking about this group of terrorists.
The movie handles that so clean, too. When he does, like, the fake terrorism demands. I'm assuming everyone listening to this has seen fucking Die Hard, right? Okay, yeah. So when he's doing his, like, demands, he names Asian Dawn. And one of his, I think it's Carl, is like, Asian Dawn. He's like, oh, I read about them in Time magazine. And then he continues on with his demands. So it's just like, it's so easy to do that. Like, oh, I get it. You don't need to devote hundreds of pages to a flashback.
Yeah, so it's basically like 5 to 7 pages explaining how depraved and terrible these terrorists are. And it's basically like the classic story of rich German kid who gets angry at his parents because his parents were fucking Nazis. And he realizes it as an adult and then just goes and chills using their money, and then eventually gets sucked into a terrorist cell and is now leading the terrorist cell. The thing that's really interesting about the novel is that nothing he says indicates that he's just in it for the money. His whole plan is to throw the money into the streets.
Yeah, he's like literally doing a terrorism.
Yeah, he's doing terrorism. The only thing we have is that we're in Leland's point of view, and Leland doesn't think that he's doing it. I mean, he thinks he's doing terrorism, but he thinks he's doing it to enrich himself. Because obviously the only altruistic person that can possibly exist in Los Angeles is Leland himself.
Ah, yes, the greed center. I mean, every major city is just corporate greed at this point, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this takes place during the what Adam Todd Brown refers to as the golden age of terrorism, the late 70s. When they would hijack planes, yes, but they'd be like, all right, everyone, we're going to Tahiti. And then, you just get a free ride to Tahiti instead of, Chicago or wherever you're going. Yeah,
basically, like, that's kind of the context in which it's written as well, is like, it's very strongly implied that Joe Leland, our protagonist, developed the anti-terrorism shit that's being used by the FAA, and like that's why he's the work that he's in, and that's like what led to the crumbling of his life.
Yeah.
And it's also implied that like he developed SWAT teams, essentially.
Huh.
Yeah, Roderick Thorp manages to be incredibly descriptive and also incredibly elusive at the exact same time. So, like, he'll explicitly describe what it feels like to break someone's neck and then just kind of have vague explanations of, like, oh, I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this, and this happened. And it's very weird, especially having just read, 600 pages.
It feels like a weird amount of insight into what he thinks is important.
It almost feels like you need to read the detective first, and this is just like a couple chapters that got chopped off the end of it.
Yeah.
Because it was like slipping directly back into the same book, except Leland is more of a dick in this one.
So his writing didn't improve in 12 years?
No, I will say I'm choosing to think that he did this on purpose. As the book continues and the kind of illogical nature of Leland's thoughts spiral, it kind of gives more of a reason for his mind to wander within the text itself, because he's at the start of the story, like where shit kicks off, he's been awake for 22 hours. Like, he's been awake since 7 a.m. Central Time, and it is now almost 10 p.m. Pacific Time. So he's been awake for a significant amount of time. So he's already a little delusional. And so I'm going to go ahead and say that's a stylistic choice, and it kind of makes sense that he's getting a little loopy as it goes on. I don't know what was happening in the detective. But it actually, that element of it lends well to this the pace of this novel. It's not good, but it's better.
Well, how it was written honestly didn't really matter, because Fox bought the rights to the sequel to The Detective before it was even written.
Before it was even a twinkle in his father's eye.
They approached Jeb Stewart, who would later write The Fugitive, to write the screenplay.
Oh, okay.
Giving him freedom to do whatever he wanted, as long as it was still Christmas in LA.
Okay.
The first draft of the screenplay, which was Stewart's first screenplay, was greenlit a day after it was submitted.
God damn, okay.
He kept the basic structure of the novel's story, as well as some major scenes, like I believe the barefoot on broken glass, getting blown off the roof, the C4 down the elevator shaft, all of that remained. But Stewart wanted to address both the tone and the characterization of the novel. He was inspired by a near miss with an empty cardboard box on the road. Basically, he was driving on one of LA's freeways, and there was an empty cardboard box, and he couldn't avoid hitting it. Basically, it was hit it or hit other cars. And luckily for him, it was empty. But he realized he had had a fight with his wife and pondered, what if I never made it home to say I'm sorry? And then he changed the daughter character in the novel to an estranged wife in the film and applied that feeling to it.
I think that works better.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't give a shit about his daughter by the end of this novel.
Because Leland doesn't give a shit about his daughter, it seems.
I kind of just want all of them to die. I really expected him to kill himself at the end of this novel.
Another thing Stewart did was lighten the nihilistic tone of the novel, allowing the wife to survive. And he also expanded on the point of view. The point of view of the novel, like you said, is just what Leland sees, hears, and thinks. He allows the viewer of the film to see what's going on with Gruber and the terrorists, the cops on the ground, and Gennaro.
The benefit of a movie versus a novel.
Yeah, which, I mean, you can do a movie where you don't leave a character's perspective. That's totally reasonable, especially something like this. You could do that, but it's a lot more fun if you don't.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what he was going for. John McTiernan was hired to direct the film based on the success of Predator, which included action Christmas movie legend Shane Black. Just thought I'd put that out there. Frank Sinatra was approached to reprise his role in the adaptation, but he declined due to his age. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone were also offered the role before it went to Bruce Willis. Now, Bruce Willis, it was a little controversial at the time, because A, his salary was $5 million. This is 1988. Not only is that a lot more money then than it is now, that was a lot of money for a film star. The average for like major motion pictures was $1 to $2 million at the time.
What had he done to earn that at that point?
And that's B. He was a TV actor. He was best known for moonlighting. The only reason he was able to accept, and I think I brought this up last week too, was that his co-star, I think it was Sybil Shepherd maybe? His co-star in Moonlighting got pregnant, and they had to take 11 weeks off, and that gave him time to shoot Die Hard.
Huh, okay.
And, you know, back in this time, in addition to all of that, TV in Hollywood were still, like, segregated as far as actors went. Like, Bruce Willis was one of the first TV stars to make it big in movies. George Clooney followed. And now like Leonardo DiCaprio started on TV, and it started changing in the 80s and 90s. But mostly because of this.
Yeah, it kind of feels like now you do both. Or the way that maybe, like, because of streaming, the way that TV shows are shot, it's almost the same as filming.
Like, there's also now prestige TV. You've got your HBO shows and your AMCs and stuff, and they're going to get big Hollywood actors. Mm-hmm. Because if you only need them a couple scenes an episode, the shooting schedule's not much different than a major motion picture. As far as, like, time needed. And usually they'll write 3, 4, 5 episodes at a time, so you can just get them all in one day. It's very different than it is... Or it's very different now than it was in the 80s.
Yeah. Low-key, that feels to me like he was like, tell him $5 million.
Yeah, right?
Because he's like, I'd love to do it, but I can't.
Well, they went for it. And the reason they believed in Willis, they being the production staff, was based on his everyman quality. They wanted the audience to believe that the hero could fail. And that was just not a thing then. Action movies at the time were Stallone in Cobra and Arnold in Commando. And it's these swollen, steroidy muscle men doing one-liners and shooting guns and...
Hulk Hogan.
Rest in peace. And this was just a completely different take on action. The other big change they made was to the terroristic elements of Gruber. They changed that into simple thievery, basically, because they were releasing this as a summer blockbuster. And they didn't want the audience to think too deeply about how fucked up the world is. You know, I mean, we're right in the heart of Reagan here. End of Reagan. So, like, yeah, things aren't great.
Yeah, and I think that is a stronger choice, because, yeah, it's an interesting choice to have your villain be, like, pure and motivated by actual, like, goals that are, like, lofty and for the betterment of humanity or whatever bullshit. But I think it's also a stronger choice to have a betrayal by the villain that's just like, yeah, no, I'm just talking bullshit. I just fucking want money.
Just pure, unadulterated greed.
Yeah. So
as the release of the film drew near, the marketing team grew skeptical of Bruce Willis as a leading man. Basically, he was untested in Hollywood. He, I think, had done 1 or 2 features prior that didn't do well. And he was also off-putting in interviews. He tried not to talk a lot about his personal life and tried to focus on his acting and his performances in interviews. That wasn't appreciated by tabloid media, as we all know, can be a bitch.
Well, wasn't he also, like, in the middle of a divorce at that time, or had that not happened yet?
I don't think that happened yet. I didn't read anything about it, but okay. I didn't go deep on Willis himself.
Okay. Because you didn't want to get sad.
I believe he was with Demi Moore at the time.
I think you're right.
So the marketing team decided to focus on Nakatomi Tower in print ads, and Willis's name was minimized in promotional materials. There were actual fears that when the trailer would air in theaters, people would boo when they saw Willis's face, because his salary was making news, and the talk was, is this guy worth $5 million in this movie? So, knowing that about the marketing, you want to watch a trailer?
Yes.
Let's watch a trailer.
It's Christmas Eve in L.A.
California.
Is Daddy coming home soon?
Well, we'll see what Santa and Mommy can do, okay?
A New York cop, John McClane, has come to see his wife.
I missed you.
Instead, he's going to have to save her.
Sit down.
Within this skyscraper high above the city, 12 terrorists have declared war.
They're about to be taught a lesson in the real use of power.
They're as brilliant.
Because I am interested in the $640 million in your vault.
As they are ruthless.
And I'm telling you, you're just going to have to kill me. Okay. We do it the hard way.
Now, the last thing McClane wants.
Think, damn it, think.
Is to be a hero.
Where's Holly? Hey, Tucker! Where?
But he doesn't have a choice.
What does he think he's doing?
Job.
They have already killed one hostage.
This channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
Lady, do I sound like I'm one of the pieces?
He's inside? Who is he? Who are you then? You are most troublesome for a security guard.
Sorry, wrong guess, huh? Would you like to go for double jeopardy?
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippie-ki-yay, mother.
You just destroyed a building. I am in charge of this situation. Well, I got some bad news for you. From up here, that look like you're in charge of Jack.
He is alone, he is tired, and he hasn't seen dipping squat from anybody down here.
Hey, pal, how you feeling?
All things being equal, I'd rather be in Philadelphia.
And you'll have it.
Only John can drive somebody that crazy.
He's an easy guy to like.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
And a hard man to kill. Bruce Willis. Die Hard.
Got invited to the Christmas party by mistake. Who knew?
all over that trailer for someone they're trying to hide.
God, we both have the biggest grins on our faces right now just watching that trailer.
He's so charming.
It's such a good movie. Die Hard is the story of a simple man trying to be with his family on Christmas. He is willing to suffer through his fear of flying to get to LA, walks barefoot through broken glass, and foils a $640 million heist just to hold his children and wife on Christmas morning. And some people think this isn't a Christmas movie.
Correct.
It ends with Let It Snow, for fuck's sake.
It's an action movie. It's not a Christmas movie.
So I have time scheduled later for us to have this debate, okay? But I do want to talk about filming a little bit first. The movie was filmed almost entirely at Fox Plaza in Century City, Los Angeles. The building was still under construction at the time, which allowed the crew to build sets and rig stunts in the actual location. The only time a miniature was used was for the explosion on the roof.
That makes sense.
Even the helicopter scene towards the end, when they're going like between the buildings, they shot that for real. They had a 2-hour window to do it, and it took them 6 months to plan.
Didn't you say they only had 11 weeks to film?
Well, pre-production isn't
fair.
Production.
Gotcha.
Stunts on the film are actually worth talking about. So, for context, they shot this not that long after The Twilight Zone. Which, for those unfamiliar, there was a scene shot for Twilight Zone, the movie, in which an accident occurred, a helicopter crashed, and 3 actors lost their lives. 2 of them were children.
Who should not have even been on set that day.
There's a whole lot of deep dives that are well more researched than I am. I know when Gorley and Rust covered this movie on their podcast, they talk about it for a bit. Is it Cursed Films goes into detail, that Shudder show? A horrible situation should not have occurred. People should not have died. Decisions were made that shouldn't have been made. So, in the aftermath of all of that, the stunt team on Die Hard took steps to prioritize cast and crew over the film itself.
Which is fair.
Keep that in mind. Bruce Willis's first day of shooting.
Oh, God.
Is the stunt where he's got the
hose? The
fire hose wrapped around his waist, and he jumps off the building as it explodes behind him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they shot this film, or they shot this stunt on, I think it was a 25-foot parking garage. So he was to jump, the explosion would happen behind him, and he'd land on an airbag 25 feet below. Again, this is Willis's first day of shooting. He came straight from the set of Moonlighting and did this stunt. The explosion pushed him further than intended.
Oh no!
And he landed close enough to the edge of the airbag that the crew thought he died.
Oh no!
Day 1. Welcome to the party, pal.
I am just imagining these poor stunt coordinators and all these other people like, that's no.
And one producer, well, we won't have to pay the $5 million. So you remember the scene where he's in the boardroom and McClane's under the table shooting up through the table at the guy, and the guy says, like, next time you have a chance to kill me, you should do it, and then he just shoots him like 6 times in the dick through the bottom of the table?
Sure.
That gave Bruce Willis permanent ear damage.
Of course it did.
I think he lost, 3/4 of hearing in, I think, his left ear because of that stunt. Great precautions were taken to protect the cast and crew over the film. The stunt team also legitimately blew the windows out of a floor of the building when they did the C4 down the elevator bit. And they would often leave behind enough debris and destruction that there weren't many tenants in the building because it was still under construction, but there were tenants. They would leave their lights on overnight to fuck with shooting. So there are 2 roads we can go. We could talk about themes, or we could talk about how much fun this movie is. But you didn't watch it with me last night.
I watched the end of it.
I fucking love this movie. It's so much fucking fun. Like, part of the reason why I wanted to bring up the stunts is just how... I'll save this for later. I'll save that for later. Let's talk about themes.
Okay.
So the big one I want to talk about, and it's a little tough, because, like, in a cheaper by the dozen kind of way, almost everything changed except the bare bones of, like, what's happening, kind of.
Yeah.
So a theme that I think we can probably get some juice out of is masculinity and violence and how those go hand in hand.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable, considering that so there are actually female terrorists in the novel.
Interesting.
3 of them. And one of them is named immediately after he kills her, and another one is named by him in retrospect. He thinks that it might be another one of the well-known terrorists. But basically the way that he gets himself to kill them is basically he sees the fatigues and he's just like, they're just as bad as the guys. And then he's able to kill them. And after there's one female terrorist left. She's the one with all of the firepower waiting in the stairwell. And she's the last one of the 12 from the beginning. And he's already watched his daughter die. And he tricks her into thinking that he's one of them and gets her to bring a gun closer to him so he has a better shot. And he describes like watching the realization on her face that she has been tricked and she's going to die. And he basically is just like, his daughter didn't have a choice. And he shot that bitch right between the eyes. Like, that is literally, it's described, the actual line is, he shot that bitch right between the eyes.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, Roderick Thorp clearly had some ideas about toxic masculinity in there.
I like how the tipping point for him was, like, they're wearing the same fatigues? Is that what you said?
So, yes, all of the terrorists are wearing the same clothes, essentially.
So as soon as he can't tell from a distance if he should be horny or not, he thinks she should die.
Pretty much, yeah.
Men need to be stopped.
I also think there's something to be said about, like, corporations and, like, what level we should allow corporations to act. Because, I mean, the scene of his daughter dying is clearly, like, she's not listening to him. She's too freaked out at that point to be listening to Leland. And so she's kind of getting in the way, so he can't do the shooting the way he wants to do it. Like, he should be shooting Tony in the head, but he can't because he's afraid he's going to hit his daughter. And then
I don't believe he's afraid of that. I believe he's afraid of the repercussions of that.
So and then, of course, when he finally does kill Tony, and Tony falls backwards through the window, it's the wristwatch from the company that he pulls her down by. And in the movie, there's the symbolic thing where he takes it off of her and she's free and his again. But in this, the company has essentially signed her death warrant.
Yeah.
And he has that conversation. Like, there's the whole thing that Tony is talking about, like, this company got $150 million from the military junta in Chile because they're going to build a bridge over a river that nobody needs access to. But really what they're doing is they're going to be funneling arms. It's an arms deal. And we don't know whether that's true or not. It's considering everything else that we know about this company, it's probably true. But at what point is it, like, acceptable for a corporation to act versus a terrorist? At what point does a terrorist become a corporation, et cetera, et cetera? And there's, like, all that, like, in there, where it's like, you're saying that you're going to distribute this money, this $6 million that was given to the first payment that was given to the corporation, and that's what your whole plan here is. What was your plan with the next $6 million, and the next $6 million, and the next $6 million?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, like, how much had also changed in the 10 years between the novel and the film with corporations. Like, it's notable that it went from this company is funding revolutionaries in another country to it's the Japanese technological invasion. It's the Nakatomi Corporation. And the first thing McClane sees when he walks in is the touchscreen directory and all that stuff. And it was like a real fear in the U.S. at the time that the U.S. tech advantage was going to go away because of the Japanese, and nobody saw the Chinese with the money in the bank briefcase running down the ramp.
Yeah.
But I digress. It's just like, and then the change in the terrorists as well, just being thieves. It's almost like in a decade, even the bad people just lost their moral compass, and it's just all about the greed.
And also, like, the money balloon. Because it started as $6 million.
Yeah, in the novel, and 640 in negotiable bearer bonds, I believe, in the film.
Sure.
Which, I don't even know what the deal is with those. But, hey, $640 million, and by the end, only Hans is getting it. Everyone else is dead, and he doesn't really care.
Yeah.
But, yeah, going back to the violence as well, it's like a theme in the film, and I'm wondering how this mirrors in the novel, that both main male characters on the good guy's side, McClane and Sergeant Al Powell, the cop on the ground, Family Matters himself, both of their arcs revolve around them learning to use violence. Now, throughout the film, we see McClane as a reluctant hero. This is the film that establishes that trope, essentially, in action movies. And he doesn't want to do what he knows he has to do, and he's the only one that can do. But what I find more fascinating is Al Powell's arc. He is a desk jockey. He's a cop that, he just works in an office pushing papers across desks, as he puts it, who just happened to answer a call on his way home. And it's revealed throughout the film that the reason he's a desk jockey is because he shot a kid. And it almost seems like he got put behind a desk as a consequence for shooting the kid. But he drops one line in the end of his story, and I don't have it verbatim, but it's along the lines of, I just couldn't pull my weapon again. He got desked because he wouldn't shoot a kid again. He wasn't willing to pull the gun in case he shot a kid again. And that's why he's behind a desk. Not because of guilt of what he did, but because fear that he can't do it again. And at the end of the film, he's the only one who pulls his weapon and takes out Carl. And his arc is he learned how to be violent again. He now has his masculinity, and we learn that he's going to be a father. He's going to be a good father because he's willing to shoot now. His gun works. The gun is always a penis.
So, Dwayne Robinson, the police chief, he does not survive the novel.
He shouldn't survive the movie. He's a shithead.
So, he doesn't survive the novel, specifically because he's in the middle of dressing down Leland for all of his chicanery, etc., inside the building, when the last terrorist, who is still alive, it is Carl, who Leland warned them about, starts shooting and manages to take out a significant number of reporters. Al Powell basically makes eye contact with Leland and shoves Dwayne Robinson in front of him. Dwayne Robinson gets shot instead of Leland. And Al Powell takes him out.
Al's like, I won't take a bullet for you, because I will let this man take a bullet for you.
So the conversation...
This man should take a bullet for you.
So, I'm gonna read...
That's amazing.
Just their conversation here.
That's so fucking brutal. I'm glad that didn't make the movie.
So, this is the conversation they have. Starting with Powell. I liked the way you ducked behind Robinson. Leland stared. He died a hero, Powell said. Don't you forget it. Basically, they both realize as cops, he fucked this situation so badly that he was gonna get dressed down and probably dismissed. And this is also the way that Leland is not the fall guy. This is the only way, because there are no other witnesses now.
Yep.
So basically, they kill a guy because he was being a real dick.
They end someone's life without due process, then hide behind the blue wall of silence.
So, funny you say that, because there's another line that Leland has earlier where he's thinking about himself. Let's see. You spend all your life behind one badge or other, not knowing if you're a good cop or just lucky, but one thing finally does become clear to you. Better than anybody else, you know how to commit a crime.
That is something I praised the detective on, was how it's very open about how shitty cops are.
Like, he's realized at this point, the context of that is that he is going to kill the last female terrorist, because at this point he doesn't know that Carl is alive downstairs. Mm-hmm. It's something that a hostage says that tips him off. But he is going to kill the last female terrorist, and his plan is, the reason that he's doing that is technically he doesn't have to kill her. She's outnumbered, and he could take her alive. he doesn't want any witnesses because he wants the trail of evidence to be disputed as to who threw the money out of the tower. Because he's gonna throw the money out of the tower because then he knows the police can't cover it up. And he's also, at this point, like, he's been awake for over 24 hours. He's exhausted. He's bleeding from basically every orifice of his body. He's been shot several times. And so he's...
Not having a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and also, you know, his daughter has died. So he's not rational at this point. So he's just kind of like, fuck it, I killed the terrorists, but they were kind of right, and fuck this company. And at this point, the CEO and the next person and his daughter, who was the other person on the executive board, they're all dead. So there's no one to dispute anything.
The Navidad was not feliz.
So yeah, there's definitely something here about masculinity and violence and losing control of it. Because he's also, like, the daydream that he keeps going back to is he kissed a flight attendant. And he keeps talking, like, on the way over, he was flirting with a flight attendant.
Of course he was.
And so, like, he keeps going back to her and, like, thinking about her. And that's his whole, like... That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get over that. That's what I'm gonna do when I get out of here alive. It's gross.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Men need to stop.
As I said to you, I'm not sure if I don't like this author or I just don't like men.
And you and I both know the answer to that question. Is yes. So, amidst fears of the film Die Hard being a failure, it was incredibly successful. It opened with a limited release to positive reviews before a wide release a week later. Opening weekend put it third in the box office behind Coming to America and previous episode of the pod, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Neat.
But it remained in the top 5 for 10 straight weeks. Some critics spoke negatively about plot holes in Bruce Willis's performance, but audiences loved the film, and the Academy nominated it for 4 Oscars. Editing, visual effects, sound effects editing, and best sound.
Yeah, that tracks.
It lost 3 of them to Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, this is not a movie where you're praising the performances. Like, as charming and interesting as Willis is, this is not an acting movie.
It's not an acting movie. It's a spectacle of a movie.
Yeah.
And this is, like, why I wanted to talk about the stunt work earlier, is because part of what makes it a spectacle and part of what makes it so watchable today even is that it's got that, like, realism to it because they shot it on the roof of Fox Plaza. So you can see LA in the distance. You can see cars on the road. When they shot the fire trucks coming to answer the fire alarm that he pulls and turning them around, they shot them from the building and they were a quarter mile away down the street. That's an actual view from that building. And it just adds so much life to the movie that you wouldn't have if it was shot on all sets with miniatures. I think the only true set was the main lobby of the, not like the 30th floor where the party's happening. Like, that's a set, but all the stuff in the building and everything else was the actual skyscraper. You know when I said Bruce Willis did his own stunts? Mm-hmm. That includes that bit where he rides the actual elevator of the Fox Plaza up the shaft. They just fucking did it. Like, it just makes it such a memorable and entertaining movie. But still, like, I'm kind of surprised that the watch symbolism that you mentioned earlier, where, like, the watch represents work, they kept that in the movie. Like, she gets the Rolex, she's not wearing her wedding ring and he's wearing his, and then in the end he unclasps the watch to save her, and then they're together again. You know, it's like he kept that symbolism from the novel in the movie, just in the guise of action movie bad guys, guns, and blood, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those, like, blink and you miss it things.
Yeah. Die Hard is a lot of things, but is it a Christmas movie?
I think I've made myself clear on this point. It is an action movie. It is not a Christmas movie.
What is the first song on the soundtrack?
I don't know, Bill. What is the first song on the soundtrack?
Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. What is the last song that plays as the credits begin to roll?
You said earlier it was Let It Snow.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. What is the one thing the producers wanted the screenwriter to keep from the novel?
That it was Christmas.
Christmas. Why? Because it's a Christmas movie. What are the first 2 words of the trailer? I'm pretty sure they were this Christmas. Even though the movie came out in July.
Say, that doesn't count. The thing is, yes, Christmas is an important element of the plot.
Because it's a Christmas movie.
You could sub that for any other family holiday. It could be fucking Mother's Day. And he's trying to get back so that they could have a good Mother's Day together. And the party isn't a Christmas party. The party is fucking we just closed the deal party. So
he's flying across the country at a minute's notice for Mother's Day?
He's a good father.
No, he's not. He refused to follow his wife and kids to LA because he was scared. That's his arc. He is not going if it's not Christmas.
Could be Thanksgiving.
Oh, ain't nobody traveling like that for Thanksgiving. Planes, trains, and automobiles is a myth. No, don't get me wrong. I love Thanksgiving. He's not doing that on Thanksgiving. And the company's not throwing that crazy a party on Thanksgiving.
The thing is, Christmas is not load bearing to the movie. You can you can remove it and replace it with other things and it still works.
It doesn't work the same though. You can't replace Christmas with another holiday and have it carry the same weight. Everything loses a little bit of weight if it's not Christmas Eve. Because there's 250 cops that are away from their homes. The reporter who goes and harasses the kids and threatens to send INS on their maid. He's like, part of the story that he's telling as part of his newscast is it's Christmas Eve and their parents are in this building and they may never see them again. Let's get those kids on TV. That doesn't work on Mother's Day. That doesn't work on Easter.
Now I'm just imagining all the Easter jokes. Instead of ho ho ho, now I've got a machine gun. It's just like he has risen.
Give him 3 days.
Yes. So I don't think Christmas is load bearing to the movie. I think it still works, even if you remove the Christmas element.
I disagree. And clearly we're not going to come to a consensus on that. You do have one famous ally in your corner, and that is the star of the film, Bruce Willis.
You don't say.
The guy who wrote the fucker says it's a Christmas movie.
Fuck that guy, Bruce Willis.
Fuck the guy who wrote The Fugitive? You can go fuck yourself.
He switched the same.
He switched the same.
Is The Fugitive a fucking Christmas movie?
No, because it doesn't take place during Christmas. It's not about him getting home to his family, because his family's dead. The Fugitive is a revenge movie.
Die Hard is an action movie that happens to take place at Christmas. It's not a Christmas movie.
It is 100% a Christmas movie.
It is not.
And it's only enhanced by the sequel, which is 1 year later on Christmas, and they're traveling again on Christmas. And that's like the major plot point is that it's Christmas. The third one, absolutely not. The third one is just fun. And then we don't talk about the other ones.
We don't talk about Marky Mark in the fifth one.
He was in the fifth one?
I think so.
I didn't see.
Because I think he's dating the daughter, and it's real creepy because he knows all the age of consent laws.
No, you're thinking of Transformers 4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where Marky Mark, and it's his daughter, and the dude has like a laminated Romeo and Juliet law card, and he holds it up to frame.
That is not that. My laminated Romeo and Juliet law card is answer. Please see the card.
The only time in my life I gave a shit about the Romeo and Juliet laws were when I was from 16 years old to 20 years old, because that's when they mattered to me in Pennsylvania. And even then, I'd have to get married real quick to someone questionably young for me to even consider having sex, and those laws mattering. So...
I mean, I was barely 18.
You were 18 when we met. I was 20 when we met. It's not like I was 35.
Like you are now?
It's older than that now.
What was your Spotify Wrapped age?
So, the legacy of Die Hard. Die Hard led to like a cultural shift in filmmaking, specifically in action movies and how their lead characters were portrayed. So the Stallones and the Arnies prior to Die Hard were built like Greek gods. steroided, muscle-bound, spouting one-liners like you and I breathe air. And their villains were one-dimensional, playing on foreign stereotypes or mental health or eccentricities. John McClane introduced Hollywood to a new hero who was scared and vulnerable, and he cracked his jokes out of nervousness, not confidence. On the other side of that coin, Hans Gruber was intelligent, he was well-spoken, and he was fleshed out like with a believable backstory. In the film, he was recently expelled from his terrorist group, and he's doing one last job basically under their guise to get this incredible heist underway. And he's willing to sacrifice everyone to do it, you know? And yeah, and in the end, his own hubris and willingness to sacrifice his people is what opens the door to his downfall.
More like a Greek tragedy, but actually fleshed out.
Yeah.
Unlike a Greek tragedy.
He's not just bad guy. You can understand who he is and what he's doing and why he's doing it. We don't agree with it, and we want our hero to succeed because he's despicable. But we've all known people who would go there, given the funding, I guess. In addition to characterization, the content of action films evolved as a result of Die Hard, where movies began to be pitched as Die Hard on a plane, Con Air, or Die Hard on a bus, Speed. Or one time, pitched to Bruce Willis himself, Die Hard on a skyscraper. His reply was, I think they've done that already.
Was that the terrible Rock movie?
I don't know. Are you talking about the Alcatraz one?
No, there's like the one where it's like a building that The Rock has built and it's all...
Oh, Skyscraper?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Skyscraper?
I thought you were talking about Michael Bay's The Rock, which was Die Hard on Alcatraz.
Oh, no. No, I'm talking about The Rock, the Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, the Dwayne...
That.
Roxon. The film itself spawned 4 sequels in the following 25 years. The first 2 were, I believe, original scripts that were reworked into the Die Hard franchise. I'm not 100% sure on the second one. I didn't have time to look it up, but I know the third one was a script just called Simon Says, and they just plugged John McClane in there.
Perfect.
The last 2 films in the series turned John McClane into the invincible hero stereotype that the original film turned away from.
Kind of Fast and Furious it.
Yeah.
The thing is, you have to, like, if you're in a universe where you have to keep escalating the stakes...
Like, the stakes get escalated geographically in each one. The first one takes place entirely in the skyscraper. The second one is an airport. A little bit more space to maneuver. Third one, New York City. And I think they go into, like, Canada, like, in the Northeast for a little bit.
I thought Die Hard was, like... the third one was, like, 3 buildings.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's the one where, they have the bomb in the school, but it's really just to steal from the Fed.
Got it.
Or the Federal Reserve, rather.
Yeah.
The fourth one takes place across the entire eastern seaboard, and I haven't seen the fifth one, but I think they go to, like, fucking Russia.
Sure.
So, like, it just, like, geographically just widens the scope of the films. They were gonna do a 6th, but Disney acquiring Fox in 2019, and Bruce Willis retiring from acting in 2022 put the kibosh on that.
He should have retired earlier, honestly.
Yeah, his last year is rough to watch, but knowing that he was just cashing some paychecks because he knew he was almost done, I respect it. You know, you gotta go out, you gotta make sure you're, you know, secure for the rest of your life if you're gonna retire, and I wish him nothing but the best. I love Bruce Willis.
Yeah, the last thing that I saw is basically his current wife and Demi Moore, both, I believe, live with him along with their kids, essentially acting as caretakers.
Yeah.
Which is very sweet, honestly.
It's gonna be a rough one when he goes. There was a prequel and a 30-year later sequel released as comic books.
Oh, interesting.
Prequel is young John McClane on the force in New York, and the sequel is 30 years after Die Hard. He's hunting a serial killer, I believe.
Okay.
And I want to see him Yippie-ki-yay motherfucker at a serial killer.
It's Die Hard but Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. What if Die Hard was Silence of the Lambs? You're gonna tell me what you know, Lecter! So, do you recommend the novel?
No. I mean, as much as I bitched about the detective, I think that's better.
Wow.
because there are some authors that you need to let them get warmed up. I think if you took 200 pages off of the detective and added it to Nothing Lasts Forever, it would be better, because it is jarring to go from the detective, which is, 600 pages, every detail about every person that you ever fucking see, and then it's Nothing Lasts Forever, which is not even 200 pages, and it's, a lot about Leland, his really shitty opinions about his daughter, and, a little bit about Tony Gruber. That's it.
Huh.
I mean, infinitely easier to read than the detective, but I can't in good conscience recommend either of them.
In good conscience?
Like,
that bad, huh?
Imagine the density of the detective, but it's like someone just went through and just yanked paragraphs out. That's how jarring it is to read this. It's not, I don't want to say it's bad, because, the writing isn't technically bad. And it even kind of, to an extent, like I said earlier, because the character is growing delirious as it goes on, it kind of has a justification for it, but it's just not enjoyable. Yeah, if you're gonna read either of these, I think the detective is the better book. But also, don't read the detective, because it's fucking 600 pages. What about you? Do you recommend Die Hard, your favorite Christmas movie?
So everything you just said, but the opposite? No, it's fucking Die Hard, man. It's a fucking great movie.
Genuinely?
Legit one of the best action movies ever. And the fact that it's a Christmas movie, too, is just icing on the Christmas cake.
Genuinely, if you find yourself wanting to read this book, just watch Die Hard. It's better.
Yeah. I am surprised how much is from the book, even though, it's a new skin on it. It's... Die Hard is to that book what Super Mario Brothers 2 is to Doki Doki Panic. It's the code and the gameplay and all that's exactly the same. It's just a different skin on it. Characters have different names.
It's The Sims 1 versus The Sims 3.
Sure. It's so well written for a first screenplay. Holy
that
shit.
That is tight as fuck.
And there's so much going on. It did get a rewrite. I didn't grab the name of the guy who did the second pass of the script, but still, they both are credited. So a lot of the stuff that really works is the depth of the story as well, and the relationships and the symbology with the wedding ring and the watch and all that. There's so much going on underneath the superficial layer of terrorists taking over a building and the cops got to save the day, and that's what makes it so rewatchable. And it's fucking Jan de Bont, director of photography, his cinematography. I read a quote from him where he basically said he doesn't like storyboarding because it leaves him with nothing to do. He considers it cheating. So he's on the day, we'll figure it out. So the scene where they shot the helicopters, because they only had 2 hours, they had, I think it was 24 cameras rolling all throughout the city to capture that from so many different angles. And then the fact that it's real helicopters flying through real LA and you're getting it from all these different viewpoints, it makes it feel real. And it really sings, the movie. Sings Let It Snow at the end, because it's a Christmas movie.
Cocaine joke.
Ellis was letting it snow, and that was the problem. Ellis is in the book, right?
Yep, he's the first one to die.
Even before the CEO?
Yeah.
Damn.
No, sorry, Rivers dies first. Ellis is second.
Okay. So I thought that stayed the same.
Yeah, so Rivers dies first, and then Ellis is second, because later he freaks out after he goes through the window and shoots the shit out of Ellis's body.
Do they do the whole radio communication thing with Hans?
Yes.
So is that why Ellis gets killed? He's trying to help, or?
No, so Ellis gets killed. It is implied that Gruber knows nothing about why Leland is there until Stephanie reveals herself at the very, very end. Literally within the last 10 pages. So they're, obviously the whole plot with the reporter is for the movie.
Yeah.
And the kid, the other...
But that's also used to reveal it to Gruber.
Yeah. So that's not used as a reveal in the novel in the same way. But no, he just gets shot because they're going in descending order. So that's why it's kind of upping the stakes, because he knows Rivers is dead immediately. Rivers is dead by 10 o'clock. And then Ellis is shot like around midnight or so, I think. So he knows at that point, like, his daughter is next. He needs to fucking get shit done.
Yeah. So you keep mentioning clocks. So the ticking time is a major element of the novel. I don't remember clocks at all in the film.
So it's not, the novel isn't really broken up into chapters per se. It's broken up into time segments.
Okay.
So, like, I'm showing the copy of the book that I have right now. So it opens at 3:49 p.m. CST.
Okay.
And then it's like stuff happens, and you get to the next section, which is eventually, and it's 5:10 p.m. MST. And so that's how the chapters are broken up. It's that passage of time so that the whole book you get the feeling that the whole book takes place over time.
Yeah. I dig that, and I like that element to build tension in movies. I don't know if it would have worked in Die Hard, but I watched The Day of the Jackal the other day. It's a great 70s thriller. And something that movie did was regularly in the background was a calendar that told you what day it was.
Yeah.
And that was how you followed the progression of time as they approached the titular day. And I don't know if because I guess it's not a countdown per se. I think the film progresses time well enough that it doesn't need clocks, but it's just not something I considered until you mentioned that.
Yeah, especially in a medium like a novel where you don't necessarily know how time is passing, it works pretty well because it also like keeps you updated. And I think at one point there's a section that's only like a minute or two apart, and it's because it's when he blows up the elevator shaft and basically knocks himself out for a minute. And so that's like only 5 minutes or so from the previous section.
That's funny. You know what? I guess instead of having the time passing, it's the visual image of John McClane.
Yeah.
It's the shirt and how it gets dirtier and bloodier and then eventually removed. And when his foot's wrapped in knot and stuff like that, like it's less like progression of time and more depletion of HP.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes in the novel too, because it's like, so that is one of the changes, is that overall the terrorists are kind of smarter in the novel. It's, as a group, they're smarter, as opposed to, like, Gruber is the leader who's telling them all what to do. Like, obviously he still is the leader, but I was telling you, the glass shards in the feet, that scene is actually interesting because what they're doing with it is they break all the fluorescent light tubes in the stairwells because they're trying to track him. And by the time he realizes it, he's already gone too far into the light tubes to stop.
Oh, shit.
And it's like a realization where he's like, that's kind of where he starts recalibrating his own thought process. And he's like, shit, I have to take them more seriously than I have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene was pretty visceral, because I remember the scene where he's taking the shards of the glass out of his feet in the movie being awesome.
Oh, and he's like trying to talk to Powell, and that's when Powell says he shot a kid.
Yeah.
Like, and I think Powell knows, like, he needs to take his mind off the pain he's in. So yeah, I'm going to share trauma with you. And that's why the real romance of the film is between McClane and Powell.
That scene is like, he's literally holding his wife, who is 80s to the 80s, and they just, like, slowly approach each other with music swelling.
They just know that, like, my soulmate, there he is. All right. I could talk about how good Die Hard is all night.
I'm sure you will after we stop recording.
Yeah, we probably will. We're going to keep this conversation going, just you and I.
Help.
But before that, what should we do next time? You know what? Let me take a look at the calendar. Our next episode happens to drop on Christmas Day.
Oh, does it?
So now that we've opened the floodgates and finally covered a Christmas movie on this podcast, no, ABC family, I do not consider Charlie and the Chocolate Factory a Christmas movie, even though you play that every Christmas, because that is not what makes it a Christmas movie, which is why I did not use the TNT plays Die Hard right now argument earlier. I'm aware of that. I don't believe that's a good argument.
My sister's pet peeve is that all the Harry Potter movies play.
Harry Potter and, like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, like, are always playing, like, Christmas time.
Those are not...
They're not. No, there's, like, one scene in every Harry Potter movie at Christmas, but that's because it takes place over the course of a year and you have to tell time.
Yeah.
And then Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, fucking tradition, I guess? I don't fucking know. There's no Christmas in it.
No, there's not. It's like summer.
It's like Christmas energy, but it's no Christmas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think that TNT is showing Die Hard in its Christmas lineup is a good.
You anticipated my argument. Well done.
Yeah, no, it's not a good argument. It's not one I'd want to make. But anyway, now that we've finally done a Christmas movie on this podcast, maybe we should do the Christmas movie.
The Christmas movie.
The one that is based on a novel and is a Christmas movie. A Christmas Carol, if you will. Maybe we should watch one of the Christmas Carol adaptations.
Sure. It's a novel idea. We haven't done it before.
No.
Are we going to reveal which one?
We probably should, so that by the next episode the audience knows which one to have lined up. Because, yeah, I don't want to have to edit like on Christmas times. So what if we just like do a watch along? Like we just turn on the movie and we just sit down and watch it and talk about it. You read the book beforehand like normal, and then we can just, as scenes happen, talk about what scenes they were.
Discuss.
And how they were changed or whatever for the movie.
Sure.
Cool. Okay, so as for which version, because I'm looking at the apps, and there are many versions of this movie.
Really? The seminal Christmas story. Well, I guess it's not technically the seminal Christmas story, because that would be like Jesus. But...
Right?
The second most seminal Christmas story?
Yeah. So we're going to do the 1970 film Scrooge, which, lucky for you people, is available, looks like, on Pluto TV, Plex, Paramount Plus. Yeah, free on Pluto TV, Paramount Plus with a subscription. So it will be available for a nice Christmas Day watch-along of 1970s Scrooge. I can't wait to finally cover A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, I'm shocked we haven't done it before.
Right? You'd think, after like 3 holiday seasons of doing this podcast.
Man, we've been doing this verse.
It'll be 3 years in like April or something.
Ew.
Crazy. You know what else is crazy? If you want to follow us on social media, you can find our link tree in the description below. For audio listeners, that's linktr.ee/soonmajorpod. There you can find our social media accounts, our email address if you want to send us suggestions, comments, complaints, corrections, any fun stuff like that. You can send them our way. We also have our high school mixtape from when we did Perks of Being a Wallflower. We have our other podcast linked there, The Treatment, a podcast about stories that we do with Mark Lucas. Our most recent episode, which, funny enough, we adapted A Christmas Carol into a feature film.
Look at that!
Symmetry. You can check that out wherever you get your podcasts. And you can check me out at the mall on a Friday night.
I literally have not seen you in a mall outside of walking through one to get to a restaurant in like 10 years.
We went to that Sears in the mall last year.
I forgot about that.
We went to a fucking Sears in the year of our Lord, 2024. We walked into a Sears and Roebuck Company department store and purchased flip-flops.
Because you forgot your flip-flops before a cruise.
No, I didn't. I just wanted to buy another pair.
Oh.
I had both pairs. I had my green pairs, and I got a new pair because I was like, I don't want anything to happen to these. Fair. And these are $6. So we were already in the Sears.
Yeah, because we had some time to kill.
Yeah, because flights landing at 5 a.m, and you can't get into your hotel room until they clean it.
At least we didn't have to carry the bags around, though.
That's true. That's true. I'm sure I've faded us out at this point, yeah.